Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, we're just gonna wait a few more minutes and then we'll get started. I feel like one of those influencers that you guys seen on social media where they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna give people a few moments," but it's just 9:30, so we'll wait 2 more minutes and we'll get started.
Good morning, everyone. It's Gail Napolitano from New
Good
Jersey.
morning, Gail.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I'm gonna start. We have about 20 people. If you are not from New Jersey, I'm just telling you right now, this will not be about Florida or Arizona. So if you're joining because Tyler starts at 10, you're more than welcome to just listen in. But whatever I'm gonna say from now till 10, it's only for New Jersey. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen because it's so important. I have to share some information that was posted on the New Jersey Real Estate Commission. If you're in my office, you probably already heard this, but it's always good to listen again because there's been some changes, which will affect your business. So it's important for you to be up to date. Also, the real estate commission is out. They have 22 investigators. So they went from 8 to 22. So they are out there. When I go over the slides, I will tell you guys what to look out for, but just be very cautious. I hope none of you guys are showing properties without the buyer agency agreement. It's not worth your license for over a commission. So if somebody's refusing to sign it, I'd rather you guys just skip that buyer than risk showing the property because they could just be a tester just to test your limits. How far are you willing to go and show the house without the representation? So please be very cautious. If you are the listing agent and you have buyers that are calling you to show the property, at that point you represent the seller. So as long as you disclose like, hey, you as the listing agent, you have a fiduciary duty to your seller that you're going to sell their property. For rentals also, correct. So if you are on the listing side of rentals or sales, you represent the seller and owner. You are hired to sell the property. At that point, if an unrepresented buyer comes to see the property, you don't have to have them a buyer agency agreement signed. However, don't just think that that's the easy way out, because if you want to get paid, you want them to be aware of the buyer agency agreement. So in case they do want to submit an offer, then how are you going to get paid if you did not have that discussion? So they did allow for this to happen because especially for open houses, they were trying to say, well, when you have an open house, like one agent had 60 families, how are you going to have all 60 individuals sign? Caitlin, for showings, correct. If you represent if you have the listing, whether it's a sale or rental, and you have an individual contacting you, you have to tell them from the beginning that you represent the seller or the owner. And at that point, whatever they share with you, you can share with the owner. And then if they wanted to proceed and submit an application or put in an offer, you have to have the buyer agreement signed. Let me just see. What if they are just showing rentals without the listing? No, you cannot. If you don't have the listing, if it's not your listing, you need to have the agreement signed. If your team leader has the listing, you can show the property because at that point you work for the team and the listing belongs to the team. Therefore, you're representing the owner or seller. All right, I'm just gonna share my screen. All right, so few things I just want to bring to your attention if you have not been to this website, it's so important that you guys do the Consumer Guide series by NAR. So if you're still having difficulties explaining to your buyer or seller or tenant landlords all the changes, there's guides that are available for you guys. You can download them, print them, share them with your clients, or use one or two slides and then create them into your own. So then they have a homeowner's insurance. So there's been a lot of changes with homeowner's insurance, especially roofs. You know, if the roof now, these insurance companies, they have drones, they're flying them, taking pictures of the roof. If it's too old, they're asking it to be replaced within 30 days after closing. So you have to be very informative as to what's going on so you can guide your sellers and buyers. Home inspections, same thing, the process of a home inspection. You know, we do this every day, so there's nothing new. However, for a first-time home buyer, just telling them you got to change the outlet, it's outdated, they might think it's a big deal and it's going to cost them thousands of dollars. So it's important to show them the guide like, hey, this is the steps of a home inspection. So it's pretty informative. The appraisal process. Another thing that comes up is the appraisal waivers. So I feel like some agents don't even understand what it means to waive the appraisal or having a gap. So it's important if you are new in real estate or your clients don't understand what it means when they tell you best and final and whoever is going to waive the appraisal or the waiver or having an appraisal gap. So what that means is a lot of times, you know, let's say the house was 500,000 and you offer 550 and they don't waive the appraisal, the offer is just as good as it's 500 at asking price. So it's important to tell your buyer what this means. And then the agency and non-agency relationships. Obviously, we have so many agreements that New Jersey Realtor did release to us. So if you need to refresh your memory what the difference is, what does it mean if you have a non-agency relationship, an agency relationship, that's always informative. Also for your clients, you know, if they are new into, you know, looking to buy and sell, that's going to be helpful. And then steps between signing and closing on a home. Love this. If you're doing a consultation for first-time home buyers, this is a great tool for you guys to use because you can now use this to guide them as to like from step one, signing that buyer agency agreement all the way to closing. So this is all free and available to all of you. It's facts.realtor, and then there's so many more. They have a legal library, so if you ever have questions that come up and you're not really sure of how to go about it, you can ask a question. They typically answer 1 to 2 business days. Any questions? Okay. Real estate audits. So if you were in my office, you already know this because I already told you guys. But if you did not know this, Real Estate Commission is out there auditing paperwork. Very, very important. We are very diligent when it comes to our paperwork. And if you already were closing on a property, you know our process. We don't pay until we make sure the paperwork is in. One thing that we have come across just dealing with the real estate commission investigator is that they're looking for the CO for sales and rentals. Now, typically on sales, usually the attorneys will make sure they have the CO, temporary CO, or the lender, the new construction, they won't let them close without it. We have come across a transaction that actually did close without a CO, and now it's going to be an issue because the real estate commission is asking for it. Rentals, same thing. Now it's going to be case by case because I know there's certain towns, especially Hoboken, I'm aware that they cannot go apply for the CO because it's rent control and it's grandfathered in. So that means that if they go and apply for a CO, they're going to change the building into like rent control and tell them they can't charge a certain amount. So it's case by case. You have to talk to your manager when it comes to rentals. Some some towns don't require CO, but they do require the smoke certificate. So you need one or the other. You know, if you look in the real estate commission website, it doesn't show required as of yet, but dealing with two different investigators right now, they're both asking for the CO. So I think we want to play the safe route and just make it a requirement, and then it's going to be case by case. When does this become an issue is when the tenant is suing the landlord or vice versa, or the buyer or seller, and they file complaints with the real estate agent. So you always will get involved in a situation that had really nothing to do with it. So if you were doing rentals before and you did not do the CO application, please do. We are preparing a document because right now, since it is not required, we are going to have a document that we're just kind of tweaking it right now, but it will be available to all of you, that you put the responsibility on the owner. For those that are not occupying the property right away. So if you have a rental now, but you signed the lease today, they submit the checks, but then the tenant is not moving until March 1st because the other tenant ends end of February, we're going to put the responsibility on the landlord, and the tenant will sign acknowledging that the landlord will get the CO. So that's going to be a required form that I would like you guys to get signed starting as soon as it's available on Dotloop, which I will share with you. Any questions on the CO?
I have one quick question.
Yes.
How about when you have multi-families? Like I have a 4-family that I've been how do I want to nurturing it for 35 years, and the state comes in usually and they perform the CO. I don't get any of that information. So how about when you rent it, do you need a CO for that individual unit
So
each
you do,
time?
because it's different. The state inspection CO is different than the town CO, that every time you have a new occupancy, you're supposed to get a CO. But
Okay.
if you wanted to put it on the landlord, where the landlord will be responsible, then that's fine too. And
All right, so you're saying that I don't need it or I do need it?
you do need it because it's
Okay.
a state inspection is different than a town inspection.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Yeah, because I
Donna,
know the
just,
town. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
no,
Scott, real quick, hon. I know that the town just called me. They wanted to go in to inspect the 4 units and do the CO for the smoke detector certification. And 2 of the units are being renovated. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, so this is going to be case by case scale. So we have to just see what I think just having the landlord sign acknowledging that they will need to get a CO once it's completed and once it
Okay.
moves in.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Scott, you had to say something?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Hi,
Again,
Donna. I do have a question.
yes.
So, the CO you're referring here, does that equivalent to the smoke detector certificate? Is it the
Yeah,
same?
either certificate of occupancy or the smoke certificate. So some towns require both. Some towns will just require the certificate of occupancy. Some require the smoke certificate. So either one, whatever the town requires, that's something that you're gonna have to provide.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Also, now that they are doing audits, please make sure your dot loop is complete. You do not want to, once the real estate commission picks one agent to audit your file, if you don't have everything in that transaction, they can start digging into further, and they can go as far as 6 years. So please just make sure your documents are complete right now. The furthest they went with us is 2023. So please just make sure your loops are complete. Sometimes You know, you might get mad with the admin because they keep asking you for documents. They're really just helping you to make sure that we are in compliance and you're in compliance. Seller disclosure must be fully complete. Please make sure you double check. If you're on the listing side and your seller is filling out that seller disclosure, you're supposed to really walk around the house with them. And if you notice something that you can see with the naked eye, you need to bring it up to your seller's attention. Like, for example, if you notice there's like, the ceiling is like wet and then they say they had no water issues, you need to let them know, like, hey, what is this about? Like, when was this addressed, right? Also, if you're on the buyer side, if the listing agent just sends you the seller disclosure, it's your responsibility that you are reviewing it and you are signing, acknowledging that you have reviewed it. So now, how did you review it if half of the document is blank? So please make sure that that is completed. If whether the owner lived or occupied the home, REO, short sale, they have to check mark unknown or no. Then the lead paint, same thing. Please make sure each box is $2,000 fine. E&O insurance does not cover it. And the total price now it's $11,000. So sometimes we want to take the easy way out. You'll have agents that will just initial, they'll put one box for all three initials. That's not acceptable. Don't accept it. Make it a habit. Moving forward, if you are on the listing side, in order for you to present the offer to the seller, they must include the seller disclosure, and of course, if a lead paint is if it applies to that property. Obviously, after 1978, it does not. But just make it a habit. It's so much easier. If you upload it on the MLS, it's saving you time too. I helped an agent who received over 30 offers. Can you imagine you have 30 different realtors asking you for the seller disclosure? That's like your full-time job. So just upload it, make it, also have your seller sign it during the time they're signing the listing agreement. If you make that into a package, it's so much easier. But if you keep going to them like, oh, I have one more form signed. Oh, now you have to sign the dual agency. Now you have to sign the ARW. They're going to say, what the heck? What is going on? Why am I getting all these documents different days, different times? So just make sure fully execute a contract. Lease, same thing. When you're preparing contracts, leases, make sure you're completing those documents. Now just to go over with Remax Select, in tracking form for New Jersey, please make sure you put in the attorney information, mortgage company, title company, and then the client. You know, when the real estate commission contacts us and I need to reach out to an attorney, for example, to get a document, if you didn't add that information, I wouldn't even know who the attorney is. We will never, and no one at Remax Select will contact your client, attorney, mortgage company, or title company without your consent. So just please make sure you fill that out earlier. As you know, our admins do contact you guys once a transaction goes in attorney review, and we ask for this information. So just try to do this from the beginning. It's so much easier. And then just to go over the ARW disclosure, it has to be offered to both seller and buyer. There was a case where a seller sued the agent because the buyer sued the owner, the seller, and the seller said, well, if I had known there was a warranty, I would have purchased it for the buyer, but my agent never told me about it, that I had an option to purchase an ARW, which is a home warranty. So please make sure you offer it at the time of the listing. We actually had so many sellers that are opting in on purchasing the warranty. It covers them during the listing, as well as it gives the buyer a 1-year home warranty, especially those that are saying sold as is. So they can choose to decline it and later on decide to purchase it. That's fine, but you have to let them know. Believe me, the person that you think is your best friend, the best client, you've been working for 10 years, those are the people that will come after you first. So just make sure, no matter who it is, just tell them, by the way, I come from a company that we offer a lot of services. Just so you know, I have to disclose to you that we are part of a home warranty that's available to you and the buyer. I just need to let you know that it's there in case you did want to purchase it for the buyer. You can choose decline now, later on you can purchase. Same thing if you represent the buyer, you can say, hey, we have a home warranty that's available to you. You can choose decline for now. In the event we do the home inspection and you feel like you feel more secure by having a warranty, we can go ahead and change it to where you want to purchase the warranty. It's not too late as long as it's done before the closing.
Is that for the same for new construction? New construction has a 10-year warranty.
You just have to offer it, Gail. You can just say decline. They obviously don't have to purchase the home warranty when they have
Right.
a year warranty. We just need to, this is just for compliance purposes. We need to let
Okay.
them know we have it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to get to the good stuff from the New Jersey real estate. I took screenshots. This is available to all of you guys. It's actually really good idea for you to go sometimes to their websites because they post agents who receive fines, ethics complaints. It's all visible. And sometimes you might think you're not doing something wrong, but it might just be the wrong thing. And it's a good idea to see what that looks like, what they ask you to do in order to comply with their rules. So this is new. Obviously we know this, but there must have been a lot of complaints for them to post this. So I'm going to read it to you guys in case you're driving or not looking at the screen. It has been brought to the attention of the commission that an increasing number of salespersons are accepting deposit checks on sales, leases, transactions, and are not promptly depositing those checks into the broker's special account. New Jersey Real Estate Commission requires that licensees who have received deposit money deposit those funds within 5 days of their receipt. Failure to do so will subject the licensee to sanctions. So obviously, for sales, the client submits the deposit directly to their attorney. I think this were to apply to us, it would probably be on rentals. We have some agents that will hold on to their commission checks for months, like because they're away and they forget the check is only, $1,000. They haven't had a chance to go to the office. You cannot hold them more than 5 days. So please make sure, just so you guys know, our commission account gets audited too. So if you have a check that's dated a month ago and we're just depositing now, they're going to question us, why did that agent not submit that check on time? So very important. Please make sure, even if the transaction you weren't sure, I know doing rentals, sometimes the tenant might not have all the money. And the seller might not want to give them the owner might not want to give them the keys until they make sure the checks, all the checks are in, and you might hold on to the broker fee and security deposit and then wait till the first month to make sure they're paying the rent. You have to give us the check. If that transaction falls through, we can refund the tenant right away. So just please don't hold checks more than 5 days. Next things for lockbox security. I'm huge on this as well because if a seller is trusting you with their property, you are taking full responsibility that you will make sure that to the best of your ability, you're going to make sure that you will take care of that property. If you're going to put a lockbox, make sure you get permission from the owner that what it means to put a lockbox. That's mean you're going to allow individual agents to access the property without you being present. Some owners don't understand that. So you have to make it very clear. We do this every day. They don't. So make sure that they are aware that by you putting a lockbox, another licensed agent will be accessing their property without you being present. Then it has also been brought to the real estate commission because some agents, let's say the lockbox has the code agents are allowing their clients to just go and view the property and giving them access to the code, scheduling the showing and then having somebody else go show the property. You cannot do that. Okay, make sure you're not one of those people doing that. If you're on the listing side, keep track of who's going to show the property. And if you were gonna have, let's say a licensed inspector going to take the radon and they're licensed realtor and they can access the property, you have to get it in writing permission from the owner that they would be okay with that. At the end of the day, it's your listing, your responsibility. If something goes missing, it's on you. So please make sure you're very cautious. I don't know if my agent is here, not gonna say names, but there was a case where we had the listing and another agency scheduled a showing. It was a vacant property, but the owner still had a lot of personal belongings. They were traveling back and forth. The agent showed the property to her client. When she was walking out, she saw two individuals waiting on the driveway. She asked them, "Oh, do you want to see the house? Are you waiting for a realtor?" They're like, "Yeah, we just want to see it." She allowed them, she opened the door, allowed them to go into the home without her to view the property. Now, you don't know who those people are. You don't know their names. You don't know if they are actual buyers, testers. You don't know if they are checking to see open windows in the back of the home to see if they can go in later and rob, see who's in, cameras, etc. So be very mindful of others to properties. If you're doing the same thing, make sure you don't allow anyone else to go on the property if they didn't make an appointment with you. Any questions on the lockbox, or that's self-explanatory?
In the case, Donna, that we put the MLS lockbox, some of the agents, without putting in a showing time or letting you know that they are going there. So how do we handle that? And we find out afterwards that they went
You
there
need
without
to-
prior notifying you.
Yeah, so we can always send an email to their broker, and either if it happened just once and you don't want to burn bridges, we can give them a warning, or you can always file an ethics complaint.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next, this is property auction websites and short sales. So if you are working with auction and short sales, this is important. So the commission, real estate commission, has received numerous inquiries and complaints involving lenders and programs that they have implemented using auction websites when the property of one of their borrowers has been listed as a short sale. So what does this mean? Let's say you have a listing that's a short sale, right? I'm just putting a random easy number, $500,000. Now you have a buyer that submits an offer for $510,000. There are some lenders that are taking that 510 offer, listing the property on auction websites in hopes to get a higher price for the property. Now, the buyer that submitted the offer for 510, they did the inspection, they spend money on their due diligence, they're waiting, they put a down payment, and now their offer is going to get rejected, their approval, because the bank went and found another buyer with a higher price. Now, you need to disclose this. So how are you going to find out? You need to call, if you were going to have a short sale, if let's say the owner says, "I haven't paid my mortgage in certain amount of months," you need to get permission, third-party authorization to contact their lender, find out if that's something that they do. Not all banks do that, but I guess like smaller banks do. So you need to make sure what is their protocols, how do they handle these kind of offers? Like, do they go and auction it, or do they actually try to get the approval for the amount that you submitted? If they tell you, "No, we're going to try and get a better price," you have to disclose it on your listing, and you have to disclose it to potential buyers. So whoever submits an offer, you have to let them know, "Look, great offer. Once I submit it to the bank, they have the right to go and list the property on the auction website and try to get a higher price point." They do give the buyer, I think, the opportunity to up their price, but again, it's going to be case by case because every lender will work differently. So you just have to make sure you can't just list a short sale without making sure what the protocols are. And then last but not least, I know this is small, so I will share with the office managers. And again, this is available on the real estate website, what your admins can do and cannot do. All right, whether they're licensed or not, there are certain things that your admins cannot perform. So if you have hired somebody who's running errands for you, these are the what they can do and not do, what they can answer and not answer. So just please make sure, especially if you're on the team or if you are trying to grow and you're hiring people to help you. All right, that's all I had. Any questions? I think Tyler's here.
Yep, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so again, we're so excited. Last week I told Tyler that I had great feedback from a lot of you asking me that the 6-week training was very helpful, so much better than the one that was provided by Remax Online. So I asked Tyler if he could restart the 6-week, and of course you made some tweaks so from all the questions that agents were asking. So even if you took the 6 weeks and you just want to have a rerun, here you go. It's here. It's going to be recorded and it will be available on our hub. Tyler, thank you so much. We appreciate you and the floor is yours.
Fantastic. Thank you, Donna. Have the controls been passed over? It looks like
I am going to make you a host right now. Yep.
oh, all right. Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, and I'm glad that it's been well received. So I'll keep doing this for as long as people are interested. I'm happy to do it. I actually enjoy doing it. So, all right. So good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock here in Phoenix, 10 o'clock in the East Coast. So we're up and moving, and the market's moving well. It certainly is out here, and I'm assuming it is for everybody else. Just a quick intro about me, if you're new to Remax or new to Remax Select, or if you've never sat in on one of my trainings before. My name is Tyler Leon. I'm a general manager of Remax Excalibur, part of the Remax Select group. We became a part of the Select group back in August of last year. I've been with Remax since January 2001, and I pride myself on helping agents, technology, marketing, systems, implementation, things like that. I am a licensed agent, but I do not compete with my agents. I'm strictly support and management. So I'm going to put my contact information in the chat here in just a moment. I am here for all of the Remax Select network to utilize. So don't feel restricted or shy in any way. If you need help with something tech related on the Remax side of things, I am a great resource for you. I am not an employee of Remax. I'm not an official Remax trainer or anything like that. I've like I said, I've been in Arizona helping agents since 2001. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I've got 3 dogs, a wife, and we stay busy. And yeah, it's a good life, as Brian Buffini says. So anyhow, all right, let's get into this. Time is valuable, right? So let's see. We're gonna share my screen here, and here we are. So the
Taylor,
first
could I
place,
just jump in real quick with a question?
yes.
So do you recommend we just follow, or do you recommend that we try to go along with you in Mac Center?
So yes, following along. Now, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. Are
So
you
should we
wondering,
be
like,
logged into Mac Center and then to Bold Trail, or just listen and take notes? What have you
I think
found the most
I
successful?
I think that's going to be up to you and how you best consume content that is being shown on a computer and you're trying to follow along.
Okay,
I can't really answer that for each person because it differs from person to person, is what my experience has been. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Trisha, you know I'm easy to reach and happy to sit down with you, do one-on-ones if and when you get stuck or want to learn more about a certain segment. So,
Thank you.
and I offer that to everybody. You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being on board. So here we are at Max Center. So that's remax.net. You can see that up in the address bar. The only way into the system is through your remax.net email address and password. Now, if you have no idea what either of those items are, click on forgot username or password just down here kind of below the sign in button, and it's going to take you to a page where you can start putting in some information that will help you get an email that will reset your credentials. Your staff may be able to pull up what your remax.net email address is, but nobody within the Select or Excalibur staff will be able to tell you what your password is. So you do have to contact the product support team if you are just completely stuck and cannot get in, the forgot username and password isn't working or whatever. You have to contact the support team, and you've got their phone number down here right at the bottom. So hopefully you don't run into those problems, but we all have days where passwords and usernames just kind of go, whoo, we have no idea what they are. So I'm going to click sign in, which is going to take me into the Max Center system. Now I call Max Center the hotel of Remax. There's all these rooms and places you can go, and it can be a little overwhelming. So take some time to just go through and look at the apps and tools, click on things, explore. That's how you'll probably get a lot of information about what's available to you within the Remax ecosystem. Now, I know we're talking about Bold Trail and the tools within the Bold Trail system, but this is extremely important what I'm showing you here. So because this kind of feeds everything into the Bold Trail system, and that is what you're going to see and your consumer clients are going to see as you are interacting with the Bold Trail system. So don't zoom out on me here, because I am getting to the Bold Trail platform here in just a moment. Okay. Now, Trisha actually made a very good point without meaning to make one, is if anybody does have a question, either unmute yourself, raise your hand, or type it in the chat. I'm trying to monitor all of that while I keep things going. And if I don't get all the questions answered, or if I don't completely explain something, call me, text me, email me, set up a time to talk with me. I just posted in the chat my contact information, my online calendar. I try to make myself extremely accessible, and because I'm on the West, Mountain Time or whatever, I'm an early riser. I can work at most hours of the day. So don't be shy. All right. So once you are in the Max Center system, before we start getting into Bold Trail, click on your name in the top right hand corner, and then click on Update Profile. Now, if you've gone through this before or recently, just time out for me. We'll get through this relatively quick. But for those of you that are newer to the platform or haven't been in here in a while, this is extremely important, because again, it feeds all of your contact information into Bold Trail. So my screen looks a tiny bit different because I've got staff status. So what you want to do is just make sure your contact information, social media, websites, anything, your bio, all these items here that you can click edit on, that is where you can make those changes. Okay, so if I want to edit my bio, I click edit. I can put in whatever I want, and then just make sure you click the save button to make sure that the information is saved, because a lot of the sections of this website and in Bold Trail, they don't just auto save. Some do, some don't, but always assume there's a save button somewhere that you're going to have to click to make those changes stick. Updating your photo, if you're still using your high school photo and you've been in real estate for 40 years, it might be time to update that. But dealer's choice, do whatever you want. All right. General info, just again, go through and make sure your information is up to date. Now, what I don't see on my screen, but you will see on your screen, is a MLS ID. Click on that and make sure your MLS ID for whatever MLS or MLSs you are a member of. I understand in the Garden State MLS, you might need to have some agreements filled out with the IDX for the IDX feed and all of that, making sure your listings are actually sent to Remax. So check with your office manager or somebody in the office. They could probably give you more information about that because I am not a part of the Garden State MLS and I don't have those details at the moment. So, and you might run into those similar situations in the other MLSs that are in Virginia Beach, Florida, or other places. So obviously in Arizona, I can help you out if you have questions. So again, just make sure your information is up to date because I'm going to show you where you can go in to update your information in Bold Trail, but some of it is not editable within the Bold Trail system. You have to come into your Max Center profile in order to make those changes, okay? If there's something in here that looks completely out of whack and you cannot change it, the product support team will probably be your best resource for making those changes. Okay. So now I'm going to click on Return to Max Center. Oops, I may have just logged myself out by mistake. Hopefully I didn't. All right, so when you're back at the dashboard, click on Apps. And you'll see all these different tiles, like I was telling you before. These are kind of like the rooms of the Remax Hotel. These little bookmark, blue tassels, if you will, mean that you're making these tiles your favorites. So they're going to pop up closer to the top of the screen when you log into Max Center so that you don't have to go digging around looking for them. So the one that you want to look for in pertaining to the Bold Trail system, there's two of them. The one that's most important to you is the Platform Max Tech powered by Bold Trail. If you scroll down, there should be a updates. They may have suppressed it for me, but there's an updates Max Tech, and then there's a Platform Max Tech powered by Bold Trail. Platform is the one you want to click on. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but for those of you that have been with Remax for a little while and you're wondering what's Bold Trail, KV Core. So Inside Real Estate is the technology company that developed KV Core. They decided to rebrand it as Bold Trail about maybe 2-3 months ago. So really nothing has changed other than they changed the look and feel of the website a little bit, some colors. But KV Core, Bold Trail, same exact thing, just a new name. That's really about it. Okay. All right, so here we are in the Max Tech platform. Now, if you're getting into this for the first time, you might see like a checklist or kind of a guide, if you will, that's going to pop up at the bottom. I strongly encourage you to block out 15 minutes at some point relatively soon to go through that checklist, kind of tutorial, which will take you through the basics of the Bold Trail system and get you a little bit more familiar with it, okay? It's honestly one of the best onboarding systems I've ever encountered when dealing with tech, so I think you should enjoy it and find it useful. But with these trainings that I'm providing and others that Remax is providing as well, you have plenty of opportunities to learn more about the platform. All right, so let's make sure everything looks right in Bold Trail when we're looking at your profile. So to do so, find your photo, or if you don't have a photo uploaded, it'll be like a Remax balloon icon. Click on that and then click on My Profile. And then here's where you can click Edit Profile. Now make sure your MLS IDs are correct. They're not case sensitive, but if you want to put in case sensitive and not case sensitive just to make sure it's good, you can do that. All right, so now you will see here that there are certain things that are not able to be edited. This is coming back to what we were just doing on the Max Center profile. So if something here isn't filled out or doesn't look right, you've got to go back into your profile over here to make those changes. And then you got to give it maybe a few hours for the systems to talk and sync things back up so it will pop up, okay? Show on site. I've only got one phone number I'm putting out there, so that's the one I've checked off to put on the site. But if you have a cell phone, an office phone, a team phone, something like that, you can opt to have those posted on the website as well. Let's see, scrolling down, fill in any other information you want here, that's fine. About me, again, pulling from your profile, your signature. Now, this is really important. When the system is sending out automated messages, whether it be something from the campaigns, the market reports, listing updates, things like that, which as we go through the 6 weeks, you'll learn more about these items. But make sure your profile, you have your signature updated in your profile. I've done a very basic signature here using, if you're into HTML and have images and logos of your own that you want to put in here, that's fine. Just keep in mind that any of the communication that's going out is already going to be pretty heavily Remax branded. So I don't think you need to put more Remax branding in there unless you've created a kind of a hybrid logo for yourself with the Remax balloon, or one of your caricatures holding a sale sign or whatever. You can put those in here. But I found that the more stuff you put in your signature in an email, the more likely an email system is going to flag it as spam or junk. So try not to get too crazy. And this goes for any emails that you send out. If you load them up with a bunch of stuff, it's possible it's not going to get through to the person, not where they would normally look, at least. Down here, you don't need to fill in this information. Why it exists, I'm not really sure, because it even says right here, the items below will not be displayed on your website. They are for information only. So I wouldn't really worry about these things. Just keep your profile up to date, your signature, make sure that it looks good. And you can set hours and do some other things here if you want to, really fine tune the system for yourself. But and again, click save if you make any changes, or click cancel to get out. And then I didn't make any changes, but I'm going to go ahead and click save anyways. So once you have made sure your profile is up to date, you're now ready to really get in and start utilizing the system. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard here, and that's over here on the left-hand side. Now these icons over on the left stay up on the website for pretty much the entire time you're in the platform. But if you don't see them for some reason, you can always kind of reset the system and take you all the way back to the beginning by clicking on the MaxTech powered by Bold Trail icon up here in the top left-hand corner. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to click on dashboard here, and let's see. Deborah, yes. The previous 6-week sessions have been recorded and they've been posted to YouTube. I am going to put in the link to that playlist here, and I've dated them. So all of the recordings that I'm going to be doing in this next session are going to be posted to that same playlist, and they'll just have the dates of the sessions on them. So January, February, March for these next 6 sessions. And while we're on the topic of that, if you go to the More button down in the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, you have so much support and tutorials and videos and guides available. I mean, I am not kidding when I say that this system is probably the best supported system I've ever encountered. And I've seen a lot of them. So utilize these training support resources, training calendar down here, because these 6-week sessions may not always align with your schedule. And then one last thing here is if you click this little chat bubble down in the bottom right hand corner, you will be able to connect with a Remax support specialist. So any of these, if anything's not working or if there's a problem, you can message them directly. And I think they're 8 to 8. I think it's 7 days a week now, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, Caitlin, what is the relay email? So the relay email is, so your remax.net email address is a redirector or a relay email. It's not an actual email account. You can't set it up in Google. You can't set it up in Outlook. It just redirects to wherever you want the emails to go. So your remax.net is a relay email, and then it's relaying onto a different address. Okay. And you control that, by the way. That's all within the Max Center app or Max Center. You come here. It's under, I believe it's under my profile here. You can update your email forwarding. Let's see. Where was it? I believe it's under settings. Yeah, settings, and then forwarding, and then this is where you can redirect your email. So I might have gone a little quick there. So let me click on my name. We're back in Max Center. Click on view my profile. Over here on the left-hand side, you click on settings, click on forwarding, and then click on the little pencil icon to change whatever you want your remax.net email address to forward to, click save, and you're done. Okay. So we're getting a little bit off track here. So it just says Mac Center in the left-hand corner, can't change my signature. All right, Karen, I may need to connect with you after the class to see what you're seeing. There's only one way to, well, you can actually go to, I believe you can go to boldtrail.com and click sign in, and trail.com, sign in, log in, and then click Bold Trail platform login, put in your remax.net email address and password there. That's how we got in the last time. The system was kind of acting weird and not able to let us in. But if you don't see, if you've clicked on apps and tools and you don't see platform Max Tech powered by Bold Trail, that's an account issue. You will have to contact the product support team to get that resolved, Caitlin or Karen. So I'm sorry I can't do more at the moment to help you with that. But again, my information's in the chat. You can message me, call me, text me, set up a time to talk, and we can go through that a little bit more. All right, so back at the dashboard, what we want to look for now is the download mobile app. So now most of you don't live behind a PC or Mac. You actually are out in the field, and the only thing you have on is your phone. And the Max Tech system is available to you via an app, but this is incredibly important. You have to go in through the dashboard, click on the download mobile app link in order to get the correct app on your phone. If you just go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and do Bold Trail or KV Core, you stand a very, very, very high chance of downloading the wrong app. Okay, so that's why this page here exists. At this point, you can click on the download or copy iOS link. I personally like the text me option because then it'll just pop up on your phone as a text message. You click on it or tap it, and it will send it to your send you to the place within the Play or iTunes store to download and install the app onto your phone. You can also copy it or write it down and manually type it into your browser or something like that. If you run into a problem, you can, you have other options, but I like the text me option. And for those of you that are curious, the Open House app, that is a completely separate app, super cool, super useful, a lot of information available to support and get you trained on it. Right now, we're focusing on, getting on board with Bold Trail. So the Open House discussion is something we'll talk about in upcoming sessions. But again, using this more button, training, support, things like that, you can learn about the Open House app at any point you choose. Okay. All right. So coming back to the dashboard, you can search for your contacts. You've got a pretty powerful web search bar in here. So if there's something you're looking for within the platform, you can type it in here and it may find it for you, may pull it up. It just depends on what it is you're looking for. What I like is it makes it very easy for you to add a contact. And if you have the app on your phone, that makes it very easy to add it via your app as well. So if you meet somebody at the grocery store because they notice your Remax pin, your hat, your shirt, your handbag, whatever the case may be, your shoes, your earrings, whatever, you can quickly add somebody's information into your CRM so that it's always saved and backed up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly show you how to add a contact, and then I'm going to get into how to upload a list of contacts, whether it's 10 people or 1,000 people. We'll get to that here in just a few moments, okay? So I'm going to click on Add Contact. Now, if you only have an address, so maybe you saw for sale by owner or something like that, and you just want to put that into your database, you can do that. You just need to make sure you check off the I only have an address slider here. So I'm going to put in, we'll put in Gary, buyer, email, I want to use something that I can actually have valid. Let's see, Tyler Leon at excaliburrealestate.com. Cell phone number, here, I'll just plug in a 018. Okay. Permission to contact. Do you have permission to call them? Do you have permission to text them? Do you have permission to email them? This is important because of the do not call list, really. There were some pending limitations that were going to go into effect yesterday, but that all got delayed at least a year and maybe indefinitely. So I'll spare that story for another day. If you want to know more about what was going on, I can provide that to you, but we're going to keep moving along. So you want to turn those on if you do have the ability to call, text, and email them, because that's what's going to open up the ability to have some automated communication provided to your clients. Now, obviously, what kind of lead type are they? They're a buyer. What's their status? Are they sphere, prospect, active lead? You've got a handful of options here. You cannot plug in your own prospect or your lead status. I don't believe. I have not seen that yet. So I'm just going to call this person a prospect. I manually added them, but if I wanted to type in, they're from Zillow or something like that, I can do that. So Zillow. I hate using the Z word, but you can plug in your own lead source, and then lead owner is if you're on a team or something like that, that might change. Now, smart campaigns we'll get into another day, but you can assign a campaign to somebody right from the screen, add a lender. You'd have to your office really controls who the lenders are. You cannot just add your lender in there. There's a whole platform that they have to pay for and subscribe to. So that's something that is just we haven't touched here in Arizona, but in the other states, maybe there is one already in there set up for you. So I'm going to click Add Contact. And if there was something that was not filled out that was required, it would have told me. It would have given me an error message of some sort. So now here we are on the contact details page. Now, before I get into this, I want to show you how to get a list of people into the system, and then we'll start kind of playing around with the actual managing a contact, because I want to make sure we cover the importing of a list. So the best way I found to do this is go down to More and then go to Playbooks. So to be clear, there's really 3 ways you can put a contact into the system. You can add them one by one by clicking Add Contact. You can come down here, like I said, under More, then go to Playbooks, and then click on Gather Your Sphere. So click Open Playbook. And then you've got some fun graphics here explaining what's going on and what you can do with the playbook. The playbooks are pretty cool. I would encourage you to play around with those when you have time. So the other 2 options, again, you can manually add a person one by one, or you have 2 options. You can let the Bold Trail support staff upload it for you, or you can upload a list yourself. Now, if you are not familiar with Excel files, CSV files, things, basically, a spreadsheet, if you will, I would encourage you to do the let us handle it option. You will need to have an exported list of your contacts. And so if you're using another CRM, or if you're getting into actually having a database, maybe you've got them written down on paper everywhere and you're wanting to get organized, which kudos, you definitely want to do that instead of leaving it to risk and on paper or in notes. You'll need to enter it into a spreadsheet, and then you will send the spreadsheet to them via this submit file option. Okay, and then if you're completely lost on how to put this together and what they're going to do and things like that, you can actually schedule a time to talk with an import specialist, if you will. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see what's going on. You can actually have a conversation with them, and they'll tell you, okay, what do you have? What do you need? What do we need? That sort of thing. Okay. Now, do be aware that having them do it is not instantaneous. It can take upwards of 3 days for them to process this information, and that's business days. So if you give it to them at 5 o'clock on a Friday, it's probably going to be Tuesday or Wednesday of next week before you actually get that list in. So just be patient with them. They will do it. They will help you. Just make sure your timing is in alignment with what your expectations are. And then the do-it-yourself import tool, you do have the ability to, you're going to get the option to download a template, if you will. So they will need certain columns named and things like that. I'm not going to get into that right now because that's just way more than we need to talk about right now. But if you click on the do it yourself option, it's going to give you very detailed instructions on how to format your spreadsheet to match their protocols for when you're uploading the information so that it can recognize what's going on and you don't have a complete mess of data in the system. I always say the CRM is only good as the content that you're putting into it. If you garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have good, formatted correctly, if you don't have email addresses that are up to date, if you don't have the right phone numbers, I mean, there's only so much this system can do. So, if nothing else, it's a good reason to try reaching out to your sphere, your past clients, and those individuals to just make sure you've got the right contact information for them. Maybe they've changed phone numbers, they've moved and they didn't tell you, stuff like that. It's a good reason to reach out, right? So let's see, where do we want to go from here? All right, so assuming you've got all of your contacts in the system, we can search for contacts by just typing in their name in the search bar, or we can go to the contacts button over here on the left, and that's where you're going to see all of your contacts. Now, something I want to make you aware of here, and this is really important. The contacts that you put into the system are yours and yours only. Remax and Remax Select, Remax Excalibur, Remax, whatever Remax office you're a part of, they're not able to actually see and do anything with the contacts that you put into the system. And if you're generating leads that are coming into the system through your Bold Trail website or other marketing activities within the platform that are feeding contacts and leads into the system, those are not going to be able to be seen or manipulated by the staff. So your information is secured. We can see that you may have generated 500 leads through your website, but we're not going to be able to see, hey, it's Jane and Joe Smith at 123 Baker Street. They've been a client of yours for 50. We can't see that. So the information you put in is yours and yours only. And let's say for whatever reason you need to export that information out, you can. It's not locked up. The reason why this is important is if you've joined us from another real estate office, you very well may have a system that was locked up and you had to leave that data behind, or you had to beg and plead or find a way to scrape it out of there so you didn't lose it. So just know that your leads you are generating within the platform and entering into the platform are going to be yours. Now, here's one other thing to be aware of. The leads that are generated by the company, either through Remax.com or the office websites, those are office generated leads that are being distributed to the agents via an algorithm that is set up by Remax. And those leads, the office and staff are able to see, because the ultimate goal is to make sure that these leads are being followed up on and the contacts are being reached and they're not just being burned or left out to dry. So there's a lot of time and money that goes into generating these leads, as I'm sure you're well aware. So the reason for that is to make sure that there's some kind of accountability for the agents and making sure that they're following up. And if they're not, or they don't know how, the staff can help you work through those challenges. So you can hopefully generate a commission out of it, generate a sale. Yeah, so that's the spiel about contacts, and just know that your information is relatively secured and it's yours to work. So on the left hand side here, I have a couple saved searches set up as a staff / manager, so don't worry about these. That's just a way for me to see the stuff that the office has generated. But what you're going to see is my contacts. Now, if you have saved filters for searches, you'll see those that are you can create, and you'll see them over here on the left hand side. Now you can obviously search for specific categories of people and things like that by clicking on the different categories here: contact details, status. This is a way to just sort out your contact list. So there might be some things in here that you'll see on my screen that you won't see on yours, again, just because of the different status that we have. That's all. So hashtags are basically the way you categorize your clients, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a moment. And there's no limit to hashtags. You can have a billion hashtags. So if you have a hashtag for like a community, or it's a friend, or they live in a certain part of the city or state or whatever, they were at an open house. I mean, they've got all, hashtags are customizable. You can do whatever you want with them. All right, so I'm going to go to my contacts. So here's the gentleman that I manually entered in. I'm going to click on his name. Now I can come in and edit his information up here. So if I misspelled it, or if I've got a bad phone number or something, I can click on the little pencil icon. Anything that has a pencil icon that pops up, you can edit that. Okay, just click on the pencil and you can change it. Click save. All right, same thing up here. Click on it, change it, click save. Now, hashtags. Let's see. Do I want to do it here? Yeah, we can do it here. You can type in, so let's say this person is looking in 85260. I can put that in. Let's say buyer 3 months. That's a hashtag I want. Hot prospect. A client. You can create all kinds of hashtags, and then basically what happens is when you want to segment your list, so you want to identify all the people that have a specific hashtag. Maybe you're getting ready to do a mailer, you're going to be doing some phone calls, you're having an assistant reach out, you're going to text, whatever you're doing, you can take your list of however many people and cut it down to the segment that you're looking for. And what I love about this is it's all customizable. So if you've got your own language as to how you want to categorize your prospects, if you speak another language and you prefer to use Spanish or Italian or something like that, you can do that. So the insights are basically a hotness level that you can assign to someone. So just click on 3 stars or 5 stars or 1 star or no stars, and that will allow you to essentially change the rating for that client. So if you're an A, B, C, D, E type person, your A clients or B clients or C clients, you can translate that into, okay, my B client is 5 stars or 4 stars. Okay. The validation, the system has a very basic way of surfing the web essentially to see if this email address and or phone number that they've provided to you actually is real. It is not 100% accurate. I don't know any system that would be, but up here, if you scroll up, normally what you'll see is a little check mark or badge, if you will, that is green, and that means that, okay, the name or the email address or the phone number have been run through a low level of validation here. So yes, my Tyler Lean at Remax or Excalibur Real Estate is a real email address, so it is checked off as a real email address. It found me on the internet. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into profile details. So this is your contact's profile that we're manipulating here. Now, as I've said before, click on Edit Details in order to make changes. So now here's where you can add additional phone numbers, addresses, primary address, their social media, texting options. If they said, I would really prefer you just never call me or text me again, you can come in and select no and no. We're going to leave that on for the moment though. This is just some automated information here. I mean, you entered in the referral source and that information was entered in when you entered in the client information. But what I want to show you here, I didn't want to gloss over this, is last closed. So this is what you would call the client's home anniversary date. So if you help them sell a home or buy a home, you can enter in the date that you had them their property closed. So let's say they closed on their home on the 16th of October, 2024. Congratulations. I'm sure they loved you. What you can do now is you can set up an anniversary email or text to go to that client. So that's going to be an automated message that gets sent to that person via their phone number, their cell phone number and or email address, congratulating them on the transaction that you helped them close. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep moving over to the right, and I'm going to address something that ties back into this here in just a second, but I want to complete the process here. So home preferences, so Gary Buyer, he's a buyer. We're going to say he's looking in Gainey Ranch. It should pull up the information, I thought. Or we want to say 85260. Their sales price. So these are just details that you can type in. But you can set up a different type of market report, which I'll explain, and I think you'll prefer here in just a minute. But these are just your notes for yourself. The valuation. So if this was a seller and you wanted them to receive a valuation report on the estimated value of their home, which is generated through tax documents and things like that, tax records, I mean, you can type in their address. I'm not going to plug that in right now, but you can put in their address and then additional information on them. Second email, second address, spouse title, spouse name, birthday. That's very important. So if you want them to receive a birthday message, you can plug that in. You might have to type it in manually, so you're not clicking through, if they were born in the 80s or something like that, you'd be clicking this until your finger fell off. So you can manually type that information in. Yeah, my screen's making it a little bit hard for me, so we'll do like 08 05 1980. Okay, so and I can come in and change that if I need to. So now then, hey, they were born on a Tuesday. Now you know. Okay, so now send birthday text email, kind of the same thing as the anniversary text email, right? Now, here's the thing to be aware of here is you can enter in the spouse's or partner's information here, but they do not receive these automated texts or emails for birthdays or anniversaries. It's just for your information only. If that is a problem, you would need to set up that spouse, partner, whoever, roommate as a completely separate contact within the system. So if you want them to receive these anniversary and email information, you have to set up that person as a new contact. It does not send out that information from this screen here. Okay. Now we've gone in, we've made a bunch of changes. So we have to click Save Changes. Landline numbers. That's why. It knew that the cell phone number was not an actual cell phone number. It's a landline. So I'm just going to take this out and I'll put in like I need to actually turn these off because it recognized the fact that it can't text the person. So I'm going to turn those off, which is fine. So I should be able to click Save Changes now. Gosh. All right. It's locking me up. So here, take that out, save changes. Yeah, all right. It's got another phone number in here. Let's see. No. Okay. There we go. All right. So alerts, we're going to get into search alerts and things like that in the next sessions, but you can set up search alerts. You can upload files or link your Google Docs to it. Transactions, you can sync this with a lot of the different transaction management platforms out there. And then tasks. Now this is actually something I'm going to show you really quick. If you want to set reminders to communicate or action items for this client, you can click on tasks and go to add task, and you can actually do this really easily from the app as well. And then you can title this text them the time of the showing on 84th Street. And then let's make sure we get that done today by 10:15 a.m. So now I want to assign it to myself, but if I have a team member or somebody else that needs to do it, I can assign it to them. And then details, just of any other notes that I need to have for myself to remind me of this item. Whoops, I need to. Guess I didn't select that correctly. There we go. All right, so now the task is in there, and I'll get reminders as to the tasks. It will be sent to me via email and via text message, or I'm sorry, via the app. So I'm going to click the X button here, And then here we are back at my contacts. Now, what I want to show you here is for those of you that are curious about how the birthday and anniversary messages look, I'll show you here. So go to marketing down here on the bottom left. Then we're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to see this birthdays and anniversaries option. Click learn more. Now you can automatically turn on all of the messaging based off of the status of the contact in your system. So if you want it to only be sent to clients, you can do that. If you want it to be sent to clients and closed, you can do that. You can turn them on and off, just like I'm doing here. I'm just clicking. That's all I'm doing. Okay, same thing over here under anniversary of purchase. And then let's say we want to look at the happy birthday email. We're going to look at click on change template. And then this is actually pretty cool. You can come down and let's see, you can click, where do you do this? I thought you could do it from right in here. I thought I was last time. All right, I think I know where to go to fix that. So I'll show you how to update this here in a minute. But what I want to show you here is you've got sliders to turn on or off. So this becomes important on the birthdays because on our birthdays, I assume most of us get text messages from friends and family, and some of us might get more than our fair share on the day before, and keeping track of them can be kind of a challenge. So what you could do is you could run it before or after their birthday and change the message. Say, hey, I know you had a birthday yesterday. Just wanted to say happy birthday and call me if I can help you with anything regarding a home purchase or whatever. You can come up with the verbiage that you choose, and then you would click add template. Okay, and that's what will allow you to set that email to go out at a different time. And then on the text, this is what it looks like. We can go to add template if we want to if we're making some changes to it, but otherwise we're just going to leave it there. If I click add template, yeah, I didn't make any changes. So let's say I want to have this run 2 days, or my screen is not showing me. So I just want to do 2 and then add template. And then that's where it's going to tell me to, I can make those changes. And then over here, you can see what the template looks like here. Click cancel or click add if you want to make that change. And obviously click save if you want to make those changes. So I'm going to put this back to the way it was. There we go, add template, and I'm going to click save just so I can keep everything the way it was. Now, let's see, under the birthday. So if I click on birthday, marketing, birthdays, and anniversaries, I can click here. I think that's going to take me right back to where I was. Shoot. So it might take me a minute to remember where to go in and update that that email template. It might be under campaigns. Let's see here. We're going to go to smart campaigns, templates. So email, birthday. There we go. So go to marketing, go to smart campaigns, click manage campaigns, go to templates over here on the far right, kind of towards the top. And then if you want to change the birthday email template, type in birthday to find it. And then click clone. And then you can come in here and make those changes. We'll get into the editors in another session. So this is basically what the website editor looks like at the moment. So you can come in and start making changes. And you can change it to the name of it to whatever you want. You don't want to leave it as happy birthday email. It won't let you keep it that way. You'll need to make that change. Change the subject line. You can say happy belated birthday if you're sending it after their birthday. And then you would click clone template to add that as a as your updated template within the system. So now if I were to click that, I now have happy birthday email. I just left it as copy. I can go in and delete it, edit it. Now I can go back to marketing down here on the bottom left, go to birthdays and anniversaries, click learn more, and then I can go to the happy birthday email. I'm going to change the template. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I can select the happy birthday copy and then add that template. And now that's the template that I'm going to be using for communicating the birthday email. And that's the same process you would follow to change the text message, home anniversary email, and home anniversary text message. So let's see, on the dashboard here, you will see all of your contacts. You can quickly sort and search them through these different buttons up here. So you've got a lot of different ways to get into the system and find what you're looking for. They've tried to make this very realtor friendly. To somebody that hasn't used a CRM before, this might look a little overwhelming, but when you kind of take a breath and look and read what's going on, I think you'll find that you can find what you're looking for pretty quickly. And this box up here, the search box, is still a wonderful way to quickly find what you're looking for. And then if it comes down to, gosh, I just don't know how to edit my birthday email or something along those lines, use the support resources. So training and learning path here is essentially walkthroughs of the system. And it tells you, how many lessons or segments there are in it, and how long you take is entirely up to you. You can search for certain training modules in here. If I go to more and support resources, this is where I can find actual help on a specific topic. So if we were interested in the open house app, I can type in open house app, and then it's going to bring up all the different documentation that pertains to the open house app. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there and take some questions. I'm going to put my contact information in again so everybody can find it and take note of it in the platform or in their database, wherever you want to put this information. I've included a couple of links to the help pages that are available within the system. And yeah, and then this chat bubble down in the bottom right hand corner, you are actually communicating with a USA based support specialist with Remax. So they can help you with a lot of challenges that you might come up against while you're learning the platform. So they're there, like I said, I believe it's 8 to 8, 7 days a week, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see anybody typing anything in the chat, which is fine. You can unmute yourself if you have a question, or you can type it in the chat. And if everybody is just, they got it, you're good to go. That's great. So I'll just hang loose here, take a sip of my coffee, and see if anything comes up. So. Is there anything that I went through, or maybe you saw on the screen that you're like, wait, what was that? Can you go back and show me that or explain that to me? Is there anything within the system that you want me to tell you a little bit more about? I'm not running out of here, so I want to make sure I've got all questions answered before we wrap up today. So.
How do we see the listings that Remax has?
How do you see all the listings that Remax has?
Yes.
So you can search for listings from remax.com, but you're not going to be able to segment every single Remax listing that way. You would need to go into like a specific area and do a search there. You can go to remax.com, and that's the site to pull up all listings, which would include Remax listings. Lisa, is there a charge if you ask a tech support to transfer? No, not that I'm aware of. Now, within the Max Tech platform, if you're, I'm not here to make you spend money, but I'm going to give you just a quick answer to your question. If we go to the 3 dots here, we go to Marketplace, and then what you can do is there is a done for you services. So if you want somebody to help set up your website, do a blog, maybe set up different campaigns and things like that, there are paid services available to you within the platform. And the cost is going to depend on what it is you want. They a la carte the offering out. But again, do you have to use it? Absolutely not. It's there for you. You can click on it and then talk to them about it. And if you say, yeah, that doesn't work for me, fine, no problem. But yeah, there's no ahas or add-ons or gotchas with this platform, which is really remarkable, because if you were to try to get this out on the open market on your own, I think it's anywhere from $600 to $1,200 a month to have access to this platform and all of the features that Remax is providing to you. So let's see, we've got some other questions in here. Paul, you can, oh gosh, I think the only way you could really link a husband and wife if you're doing them as separate contacts is you create a hashtag and it is unique to them. So you could say, if it's the Smith, Paul and Judy Smith, create a hashtag that is unique to them. That is, Paul and Judy Smith is the hashtag, or Smith family, or Smith couple, or something like that, or the address of their home, or something along those lines. That's really the only way I can think of to kind of link them together if you're not going to be including their contact information within the same profile like we were showing before. How did you add a contact on your phone? So let's see if I can do this. I can share my screen of my device, and I'll, just in case anybody needs to go, because this will take me a minute to set up, I'm going to show you, let's see, support resources, and then mobile app. So mobile app, contacts, and CRM. I'm going to put that in the chat so you can refer back to this later. But this is literally them walking you through how to add an app on the phone. And because I'm a geek and I like technology and I am able to broadcast the screen for my device to my computer, I'm going to do that. So easy share or easy cast. All right. There it is. Device not found. And here I'm going to open up the app on my phone. Okay, here we go. Start. Okay, so I got to close that. Oops. Come on. All
Hey,
right.
Tyler, I know another
Yes.
class you had us add 2 apps to our phone. It was Bold Trail, and what was the other one?
The Open House app. Those are the 2 apps that you can access from within the platform.
All right, I gotta find that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're both in the same place. When you get to the dashboard, the main dashboard, click on mobile, download mobile app in the top right hand corner. It's underneath your photo.
I downloaded. I've got the Bold Trail, and then I added the Open House another time, so I'll just go
Okay.
back and look for that. But when
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
in Bold Trail, I clicked on contacts and I couldn't add it.
Okay, so up in the top, you should be able to see this little blue plus button down in the bottom right hand corner, and that's how you would add a contact within the system. So we're gonna click. Let's see. My contacts. Wait a second. Oh, that's new. Yeah, you should be able to just click this button, and the fields would all pop up.
Right.
So, okay, well, we have identified what we would like to call a bug. Uh, that's the only explanation I have, because that is how this is supposed to work. So if I go back to, yeah, it's,
I clicked on the filter. I clicked on the 3 buttons.
yeah. There could be some, okay, well, all right. So here, it isn't supposed to happen this way, but for whatever reason it is. In the top right hand corner, you see the plus button up there. You can click on that, and then you
No.
can click add contact that way. So again,
I don't have a plus.
okay, you'll need to message
I have a
this.
cancel.
Yeah. So
Oh, after I clicked out of cancel, I got the plus.
okay, there you go.
Ah,
But
okay.
again, you should be able to hit this plus button down here and add a contact. So I'm not sure why that has changed, or maybe I've missed something. But this plus button up in the top right hand corner, you should be able to add a contact through your phone app that way.
Okay,
Okay?
I had cancel up and I couldn't find a plus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's sometimes you gotta just kind of get back to the beginning to reset everything, and then you'll get access to it. So yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions? I haven't seen anything else pop up here. Um, yeah, nothing else has popped up. 12 of you saying thank you. Obviously, you're very welcome. I hope you've gotten something out of this. The Bold Trail system is a big, hairy animal, but it is awesome. There are a lot of good platforms out there, but the Bold Trail system is really something special, and I hope you will spend some time learning it. The best CRM is the one you actually use. This is a tremendous value being provided to you by Remax. So I would encourage you to spend some time playing around with it and learning it. If nothing else, the leads that you're getting from the office are going to be filtered into the platform, so you should at least get an understanding of what a contact looks like and what happens when they do get put into the platform. And then, oh gosh, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, and I'll mention this as we continue through these sessions. Add yourself or your spouse, your partner, your friend, your neighbor as a contact. I don't care if they're interested in buying or selling a home. The point is use them as a test client so that you can play around with the system and kind of experience what the consumer is going to experience. So if you're going to start sending automated market reports, if you're going to send valuations and things like that, it would be kind of nice to know what those things look like before you just start firing them out to people that you've either met or never met. So what I have done is I've set up a couple extra email addresses. You can get free email through like Yahoo and Gmail and some other places. You can set up a free email that you don't have to give to anyone. This is just for you and you only. Set yourself up, call yourself whatever, put it in the system. The only thing you can't really fake is a phone number, as we ran into before. So you're not going to be able to set up a fake phone number unless you have like a Google Voice or some other smart phone system that you use. But at least you can set up an email address that you have access to that you can use to test out the system. Honestly, that is how I have used how I've trained myself on the platform, is just by hammering it with testing and making sure everything looks right, so I have an understanding of it, especially if I'm going to be training agents on it. So the system is not infallible. There are times where things fall out of whack. I mean, we ran into one just a moment ago. Don't let those speed bumps slow you down. They don't happen often, but if they do happen, let somebody know that there's a problem, because it may not just fix itself. But don't just text that support number, email them, do the chat log. That way somebody can at least tell you, hey, yeah, we're working on it, or no, here's what you need to do to get around that, and you'll be able to keep moving forward with using the system. So and then last but not least, if and when all of us are going to hit a point in our lives where real estate is not going to be our profession. We're either going to retire or something else is going to happen. And wouldn't it be nice to plan ahead and have an organized database that basically is your business that you can sell to another agent when the time comes that you say, I want to move out of the real estate business and go do something else, whether it be enjoy life or whatever. The more details and organized your database is, the more valuable it becomes. So now there's ways to actually sell your business. There's good ways and bad ways. Very few agents are going to pay top dollar for just a list of names and emails. There's usually about a 1 or 2 year process that you want to follow to kind of get the most value out of the business. And this goes in reverse as well. If you're looking to buy a real estate an agent's business, make sure you know what you're getting. Ask the right questions. Make sure it's organized. Take a look at it. make sure you're getting good value. So if you need help talking about buying or selling a business, talk to me, talk to one of your managers. I'm sure we can all help you through that. So anyhow, I've run over time. This is again being recorded. You can revisit it via the YouTube link that I sent. And as Idona said, it's going to be posted on the hub as well. And don't be afraid to reach out if I can help you with anything else. And with that, I hope to see all of you next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Arizona time, 10 a.m. East Coast time. And we're going to be discussing, oh gosh, I've got my notes here. We are going to be discussing automating your follow-up. So that's when we're going to get into managing campaigns and setting up automated messaging and things like that to take the heavy lifting off your shoulders and kind of let the system do the work for you, which I think is one of the best features of this platform. And there's very little work that really needs to go into it unless you're wanting to get super detailed and super customized with your messaging. The Bold Trail system has been around, I think, since the early 2000s, and 2012, I think. And over that time, they have really done a good job of editing and optimizing and creating campaigns and automated systems that don't need a lot of modifying. So again, when we're talking about marketing and communicating with our clients, some of us maybe want to personalize it a little bit more, which is totally understandable, but don't let this automation discussion freak you out, because I think you'll find what's in there is going to be extremely useful, and changing it is not difficult. So anyhow, thank you everybody for tuning in. I'll hang on for just a couple more minutes in case anybody else comes up with any other questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay warm, and go help a client buy or sell a house, especially in Arizona and Florida. We got people jamming up our freeways, our restaurants. A lot of opportunity out there. Wear your Remax pin, hat, badge. If you don't have one, get one. One of our managers in Tucson, he wears his badge and hat loud and proud, and he actually had 2 conversations on the same day as a result of wearing his Remax gear. And I believe one of them is going to be buying a home here in the next 30 or 60 days. So that was all you had to do, was be out shopping and slap a pin or his hat is what got him the conversation. And it's not the first time it's happened. So don't be a secret agent. You're all part of a globally recognized brand that is associated with real estate and quality professionalism. Hiding that, I think, is a mistake. So be present, be visible, and hopefully it'll generate some business for you. All right.
Morning.
No,
I'm so sorry.
nothing else has come up. Thank you
Not
again,
sure.
everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop my share. And yeah,
Thank you.
you're very welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay. See
All
you
right.
next week.
I look forward to it. See you next week,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.